It's the mid-2000s. You're a small little creature that happens to be a big fan of movies, TV shows, and most of all, video games. Much like all the other small, snot-dribbling cretins that you know. It's the end of a Friday night, and as a nice treat, your mum's decided to take you to a shop to pick out a new video game. It doesn't matter if you're a game, Gametronic, GameStop, sex. What matters is that once you step into that shop, there is one thought and one thought alone coursing through your mind.
Any game out of Atlantis for Panis? I'll take 10.
Licensed games, the bane of many's nostalgia, and one of the few reasons I still choose to get out of bed in the morning. Based on a TV show, based on a movie, based on a fast food empire, you name it, I've played it. To me, there never was and still refuses to be anything quite like not only seeing Shrek on the TV, but controlling it with a third-party Xbox controller.
You're fucking giving Sonic a run for his money.
We all know when these things peaked. From around 2001 to 2010, you couldn't step foot into any Walmart, Asda, or Tesco without seeing at least 10 copies of Shrek the Third for 2 whole smackaroonies. And you know what? I miss it, damn it. Have you seen the streets? People can't get searched up anymore. But of course, the PS2 generation wasn't the only one where these games flourished and flooded the markets. In fact, licensed games have had a very long, painfully mediocre lineage that I'm gonna go through with you today. So, what was the first licensed game?
I mean, I can think of worse ways to start it off.
These things started way back in the Atari 2600 era, which I guess makes a lot of sense. I mean, back then most people thought that combining the words video and games wasn't even humanly possible, so what better way to get them eased into it comfortably than by showing them a familiar face and saying, "Don't worry, fun is on the way." I think. Even as a self-confessed licensed game apologist, I'm struggling to think of anything positive to say. But can you blame me? Licensed or not, even the most advanced and intelligent Atari games sound like... Well, you know, they're just licensed games. It's not like they hurt anybody. I mean, they're just innocent fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Eventually, this green little monster came on the scene and said, "Hey guys, watch this," and destroyed an entire industry in record time. So Nintendo had to swoop in and save the day with Mario and the Terminator Jr. over here. But licensed games, even after all this, still had the goal to say, "We don't want to be fun yet." The NES/Genesis/Super Nintendo era is probably where most of you know anything about licensed games, and it's all thanks to some internet reviewer from way back in the day. I am, of course, talking about the Game Dude. And despite some standout titles like Chip and Dale, DuckTales, Gremlins 2, and of course,
Yo, no!
most of these games still suffered from what I like to call growing pains. So come on, most developers had barely just figured out how to make games that were higher quality than... Can you really expect top quality products when most of the rights were bought out and then shut out the door by... No, it would take quite a few more years before licensed games would, as the cool kids say, become mostly playable.
The big leagues now, baby!
3D is when these things ruled, man, I'm telling you. Disney on the PS1, they go bop, 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 bop. Toy Story 2, I've never even heard of it. Oh wait, I have. It's one of the most beloved 3D platformers of all time. James Bond, GoldenEye 007, even though it kinda sucks, most people consider it one of the greatest FPS games of all time. It's a licensed game. Simpsons Hit and Run, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Marvel Spider-Man. The Thing, that one's pretty good. I think more people should play that one. Spider-Man 2. Then Nickelodeon's like, "Hey guys, bop, 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 bop." There was this one extreme sports game series. It was kind of underground. Most of you wouldn't even consider it a series of licensed games. Ian, what was it called?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater!
Oh yeah, it was one of the best games ever made. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4,
Tony Hawk's Underground, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, Tony Hawk's Project 8, Tony Hawk's
Proving Ground. I don't give a shit, they're all great.
I better not flip these pizzas or Mr. Aziz will flip out.
The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer, Alien Trilogy, Alien Resurrection. And then SpongeBob says, hey, I'm just gonna become one of the best-selling video game characters of all time. I'm not even a video game character. Speaking of SpongeBob, there was this one game, I think it was kind of popular. What was it called?
SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom!
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. It's silly old me. Oh, fuck. So yeah, there were quite a few good games that came out during that time. A lot of really good games, actually. I'm sure there's about 100 that I'm not even thinking of. Like, just off the top of my head, fucking... Like, I could have gone into just the SpongeBob games. Creature from the Krusty Krab is a goddamn masterpiece. There had been good games before. There had been good 2D platformers, but this was truly the golden age for these kinds of games. This is when they came out faster than ever, and sure, there was a lot of shit, but there's shit with every genre. With first-person shooters, you have Military Man Go Boom Boom number 256 shout out every 10 seconds. Why does it have to be any different or viewed any differently just because it's licensed and based off a film?
I mean you, President. I'll fix that stigma.
Some of these games have gone on to live way past their expiration date, spawning entire speedrunning communities. And one game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, just got an HD remake that looks and plays amazing! But of course, what goes up must come down. Every golden age must end. The word "full" would not be in this title if everything didn't get cocked up. There's a reason you hardly see these things anymore. There's a reason you hardly ever see a beloved franchise's world get fully explored in 3D or 2D bliss. And there's one device, there's one object that's to blame for all of that. These fucking things. Yeah, after a while, when mobile gaming started picking up and everybody under the sun was playing Candy Crush and getting all of their mom's credit cards and injecting them into the Matrix, a lot of companies that owned all these TV shows and movies said, hey, why are we trying to make people happy? We're supposed to get money out of them. So instead of getting these giant open worlds based off of the shows that you love, instead, we got this. We got Simpsons Tapped Out. We got Sponge on the Run mobile game. We got Animation Throwdown. Wait, that one's on Steam. All of them riddled with microtransactions. All of them unplayable until you pay off walls and walls of blockage just to find out there's not even anything playable after you pay the money. These games suck. They have no excuse to suck. And they ruined one of my favorite things. Fuck phones. I'm getting a fax machine. But of course, there's still hope. Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, the game I mentioned earlier, is selling really well, despite the fact that game journalists went ahead and were... So maybe, just maybe in a few years, people will realize, hey, why am I playing this when I could be playing this? And I want this way more than I want this.
Yo, dude! Is that Rocket Power Beach Bandits for the PS... No!